Today we re-diving into one of the most pivotal chapters in the entire Bible, Exodus chapter 3. This isn't just a story, it's the theological heart of Exodus, revealing God's name, His presence, His mission, and how He often chooses the most unlikely people for the most important jobs. We find Moses, a man who fled Egypt after killing an Egyptian, now living a quiet life as a shepherd. He's tending the flock of his father-in-law, Jethro, and he's led them to the far side of the wilderness, to a place called Horeb, the mountain of God. This is a man who has traded the courts of Pharaoh for the solitude of the desert. He's probably thinking this is the rest of his life, a quiet existence far from the troubles of his past. But God has other plans. Suddenly, an angel of the Lord appears to him in a blazing fire from within a bush. This is no ordinary fire. Moses looks closer and sees something truly remarkable. The bush is engulfed in flames, yet it isn't burning up. It's not being consumed. This strange and wonderful sight captivates him. He thinks to himself, I have to go see this. Why isn't this bush burning? As Moses turns to get a better look, a voice calls out to him from the very heart of the fire. Moses, Moses. It's God Himself. Moses, startled but obedient, responds, Here I am. The first command God gives is profound. Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. In that moment, the ordinary desert dust is transformed into sacred space simply because of God's presence. God then introduces Himself, not as a new deity, but as the God of Moses' ancestors. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this revelation, Moses is terrified. He hides his face, afraid to even look at the Almighty God. The God of the universe has just shown up in a desert bush, and Moses' life is about to change forever. Then, God reveals His heart. He says, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. God hasn't been distant or unaware. He has seen, He has heard, and He knows their pain intimately. And He's not just a passive observer. God declares, So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land, into a good and spacious land. A land flowing with milk and honey. This isn't just a rescue mission, it's a promise of restoration and blessing. God is about to act decisively. And this is where the story takes its most dramatic turn for Moses. God looks at this humble shepherd and says, So now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people the Israelites out of Egypt. You can almost feel Moses' shock. He immediately objects, questioning his own ability. Who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? It's a very human, very relatable response. He feels completely unqualified. He's a fugitive, a shepherd, a man with a past. Who is he to confront the most powerful ruler on earth? But God's response isn't about Moses' qualifications. It's about God's presence. I will be with you, God promises. That's the only qualification that matters. God then gives Moses a sign, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this very mountain. Moses, still grappling with this immense task, asks another critical question. Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, What is His name? Then what shall I tell them? And here God reveals His personal covenant name. I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. This name speaks of God's eternal, self-existent, and ever-present nature. He is not a God who is created. He simply is. This is His name forever. God then lays out the plan. Moses is to gather the elders of Israel, and God assures him they will listen. Together they will go to Pharaoh and request permission to worship God in the wilderness. God forewarns Moses that Pharaoh will not let them go easily. But God's response to Pharaoh's stubbornness will be a display of his own power. I will stretch out my hand and strike the Egyptians with all the wonders that I will perform among them. After that, he will let you go. And the chapter ends with an incredible promise. Not only will Israel be freed, but they will not leave empty-handed. God will give them favor in the eyes of the Egyptians, and they will leave with silver, gold, and clothing. They will plunder the very nation that enslaved them. So, the stage is set. An unwilling shepherd, armed with the name and the presence of the great I Am, is commissioned to confront a king and liberate a nation. It's a powerful reminder that when God calls, he equips, and his presence is all we truly need. Thanks for watching. If you found this study helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more.